directly to Ciampino Airport. Of course, you know we have two different flight departures, but the departure area there in Ciampino, it's quite a small area, which is nice. It's quite compact, so very easy to maneuver around. And just to introduce you to our driver bringing us out to Ciampino today is Fiorenzo. Buongiorno, Fiorenzo. We always like to say hello and welcome our new drivers, or say, of course, you know, look after the people who are looking after us. We look after them, of course. Beautiful, beautiful day. The weather has, the temperature has definitely increased a little since we were out and about this morning from us. And this classic Roman sky that you see ahead of you. Okay, this is the Roman winter sky. We even see skies like this in December. But of course, we have our winter coats on us. But that's why the Italians, you know, they joke particularly about the Romans. The rest of Italy joke and say the Romans even shower with their sunglasses on. And it's not that far from the truth. Because quite honestly, as you can see with this brightness, with this strong sky, strong sun, we even have this strong sun in the months of December in particular, actually. So I hope you've had a good few days. I think you all have. I think you've all appreciated and enjoyed your various experiences, which is most important. And remember, your pilgrimage doesn't conclude. I always like to say to my groups as we're approaching the airport, remember, your pilgrimage isn't ending. You know, you go home, you share your experiences with family and friends, and I think that's very important. And then you think of, you know, you think of your memories as well and what you've experienced over the last few days. I hope it was a very successful pilgrimage for you all, and of course I'll be travelling with you out to the airport, but just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you all very much for your company, thank you all very much for your punctuality, and which always helps to make a pilgrimage work well, and wishing you all absolutely a safe onward journeys and a safe return home to your family and friends. Thank you. You could see that. You c- God, now I have movement. Okay, just to the left here, you'll see the Tiberina Island. You see one of the oldest hospitals in Rome, just on the island in the Tiber, on the Tiber River, and that hospital there is called the Fate Bene Fratelli. So it's do good towards your brothers. It's one of the most ancient hospitals still active here to the left of us, in the middle of the Tiber. Just in this section as well, this part we've just passed, we have to the right of us the very traditional Roman neighbourhood of Trastevere, which literally means across the Tiber. And during the summer months, this lower level area, so you can see the ambulance across there at the hospital, but the hospital then goes down to the banks of the Tiber River. And during the summer months, they have an initiative called Roma Estate, so Roman Summer, where a lot of the restaurants and also shops that are in the city centre, because it's kind of hot and humid, particularly in the months of July and August, in the summer months, they may not get quite as much business as they would like, because people go, oh, it's too hot in the city centre. They move or, kind of relocate down to the banks of the Tiber, and particularly in this section. So you go down the steps, you're down by the river, and maybe your favourite restaurant has its own, outdoor summer version down there. You can also go and, do some shopping. So it's quite unusual. You can go and have a nice meal and have a nice glass of wine, and then buy yourself a coffee table. It's all very, very interesting. But it's like the Romans kind of move down towards the lower level. Also, just by the hospital that I pointed out to you there, the Fate Bene Fratelli, they have an enormous big screen so that people can go and watch movies outdoors during the summer months also. So the Tiber is not used to the extent that it obviously used to be used, but the river is still, thanks to this initiative of the Roman summers, so the river area is still very much lived in the months of July and August, when the little narrow, roads and streets of the historic centre are a little bit too hot and too humid. looking to the right, you didn't expect to see a pyramid in Rome. You did spot it, I believe, on our trip, on our journey together, making our way to St. Paul's outside the walls. But we know we have, you certainly know, because you've seen quite a few of them, quite a few obelisks all around Rome, a lot with hieroglyphics. And to the right, the pyramid, or piramide, as this neighbourhood is called, it was actually a tomb for a gentleman called Caio Cestio, who was apparently a very, very rich Roman, wealthy man who used to organise a lot of banquets for the ancient Romans. And he said to his children, you will have your inheritance. He was obviously a very modest man, a little bit like our previous Prime Minister Berlusconi. And he said he wanted a tomb that would be extremely significant. At the time, of course, the Egyptian culture was considered to be, the highest, very much esteemed by the Roman Empire. And he said, if you build my tomb and the pyramid in 100 days, you will then receive your inheritance. So the rumor says. We don't know if that's popular culture or what, but they believe that they did. They decided in 100 days we'll make sure Father's tomb is ready, and they built this pyramid or piramide in his honor. So it's still, of course, a very much a popular kind of an important landmark of the city, but certainly the last thing most people imagine to see when they come to Rome. Another symbol of Rome, looking up here, see those beautiful trees? We've seen quite a few of these trees here just to the left of us now, just as we're passing. They're the beautiful umbrella pine trees. And the umbrella pine, you can understand why they're called the umbrella pine, by the beautiful shape. And the umbrella pine trees are very genuinely a symbol of central and southern Italy. So we'll see them along the Amalfi Coast, we'll see them around Naples, we see them in Rome, and they're very much a symbolic tree of central and southern Italy. so the F42456, and so the Stansted. And will I read out your names, or are you confident you know who's flying from what to where?
We know.
You're quite confident? Okay, good. So we have 9 of you flying to Stansted, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flying to the Manchester. So the Manchester flight is the first departure. So the first departure is at 15:20, so 3:20. And then the Stansted is the second departure, and the Stansted flight is departing at 4:25. But all of the desks there, once we go into the arrivals area, it's all Ryanair, okay? So, you can go through, and I believe even the Stansted people will be able to check in at this time also, okay? And Stansted is very, very small, or sorry, not Stansted, Ciampino is very, very small airport, as you saw upon arrival, but even the departures area, once you've checked in at the check-in desks, as soon as you turn around, you'll see the security area. So it's very, very small and very compact and very easy to maneuver. But both flights are approximately 1 hour difference. Yeah, exactly. Actually, 1 hour difference in your flights. So both of your flights, both those travelling to Stansted and both those travelling to Manchester, you should be all able to check in at the same time. Okay.
Thank you.
Any queries or questions, I'll come into the departures hall with you, of course. And of course, once we stop at the airport, just to make sure, take your time getting off the coach to make sure that you've taken everything and all your belongings with you from up above. Make sure, of course, the driver will never leave. He will never depart if there's a suitcase still downstairs, down below. So make sure you have all your belongings with you then, before we enter together into the departures area, which, as I mentioned, is very, very small, compact, and you're all flying with Ryanair, so you just go to the generic route. It's kind of like, the usual kind of snake route or whatever to get to the various check-in desks that are open. Thank you.
Yes.